Coach, 8-0, right where you wanted to be this year. You know, in the beginning of the season, you have no clue where you're going to be, but this is the prime spot, and now we're going against our we're going to call a nemesis this week.
Okay.
Liberty Iowa Leopards. They're coming in district with no losses as well, and we're talking about the district championship here.
Yeah, it's a this is why you do what we do to be in games like this, and we're all our kids are excited and the community's excited, and rightly so, and I know they are as well up in Texarkana, and this is not only a premier, I think, game in East Texas, but also in the state, especially at our classification when you have a top 10 matchup like this. And so we're really looking forward to the game and just excited to be in this position.
Coach, at the beginning of the year, you wanted to be in this situation, but you've watched these guys. You came in and you groomed them, you taught them, they bought into the system. And over the last 8 weeks, they've gotten better and better each and every week. Bobby and I were talking at the end of the game. It's 70-12, and we're like, they came out a little sluggish today, and they just didn't look right in the first quarter. And then we looked at each other and was like, they scored 72 freaking points. Yeah. What do you want from them? I mean, perfection at every aspect.
Yeah.
So you've got to be well pleased with what these guys are doing.
Yeah, and I was pretty agitated early on Friday, and a lot of that is just because we don't want these guys playing anything less than their max potential. And and also I was kind of anticipating us being a little sluggish, having a week off and, coming off the bye week and knowing what's ahead and all that kind of stuff. And so I was, maybe super sensitive to that. And so every little thing was magnified in our coach's eyes. Cause you're right. We're wanting us to be perfect and wanting perfection. And when we don't get it, then it's super frustrating. And then you go back and watch the video, and it's cliche, but it's never as good or as bad as you think. And, we go back and watch that first half. We were frustrated a little bit, but then you kind of look at it and go, well, it's a couple of things here and there. And some of those things were on us as coaches, calling some things that we probably, would like to have back. But, overall, we were super pleased with the way we played. And like you said, I think, the biggest thing, and this is one of our core values, is growth, and we are growing each week and getting better, and that's the great thing is I do think we're peaking at the right time or getting close. I mean, I don't think we're even close to that point, but we're playing our best football right now, so that's really exciting.
Coach, we have a guest today.
Yeah.
Who is our guest? We've not seen him before.
So number 3, Chris Love. Everybody knows him, and he is the most, he has the most personality on our team, and by far. And he's one of our captains. And not only is he a superb talent, but he's a superb human being and person. And quick story about Chris that people won't know, and that probably won't be shared a whole lot. Because last week we did Teacher Appreciation Week for our seniors. Picked a teacher from kindergarten through 12th grade that had an impact on them, and Chris picked Miss Murphy, his third grade teacher, and we went and surprised her and brought her a handwritten note that Chris wrote her, and then also his jersey. And of course, she was crying and she was bragging on Chris about the young man that he's become and how much growth he's experienced as a human. And then he talked to the class and talked about how important she was to him and the impact that she made on his life. And there were 5 adults, calling the high school guys adults. There were 5 adults in the classroom that day, and none of them had dry eyes by the time that class was over. And so that was really special, and that's just a tribute to the type of person that Chris is. So anyway, I'm glad he's with us today.
My daughter had a similar story. Her first teacher here was Tina Cole. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to this day, Tina Cole is her favorite teacher. Yeah. It's the same situation. Yeah. She touched Catherine as a child, and Catherine's never forgotten that. I mean, she'll tell you in a heartbeat. She's had some great teachers. She loved all of them, but Miss Tina Cole was the one that
was Biscuit's teacher, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Miss Cole was also another teacher.
And that was Cam teacher.
She taught Cam and Christian Bowman, and Christian actually. We saw Miss Cole first before we saw Miss Murphy, and she had an equal reaction. And so that was a great thing. But anyway, that just tells you a little bit about Chris and the type of person that he is. And so we're really proud of him.
So, Chris, you had 2 touchdowns offensively and 1 interception defensively.
Yes, sir.
When you're on the field like that, do you look at the difference each week, what you prepare yourself mentally to do? I mean, you're watching film, you're listening to the coaches, but when you go into the game, what are you thinking exactly? Each game's different.
What am I thinking? Every time I step on the field, it's just like everything's just zoning out. Like I'm in my own zone. Like the fans is in the stands. I don't hear nothing in the stands. I be so mentally in the game. Like, I be ready to play, and my team be mentally prepared too. Like it's just when we just walk around and just talk, even in the locker room. Sometimes we ain't even gotta talk. It's just the fact like we just be mentally prepared for the game. But once I get in the game, I just be ready every single day.
Let me ask you this, Chris, and not throwing stones at anyone, but prior to this year, did you have that feel when you went into a game?
No, sir.
So what Coach has brought to the table, you guys have been eating every bit of it and retaining it.
Yes, sir.
What's been the most favorite thing you've done this year? And it doesn't have to be in a game. It could be something like you just did with Miss Murphy. And she's got 2 football players in her family too, and a husband.
The favorite thing I've done, that's been my favorite, when we went to Coach Taylor's mom's house. It was all of us. It was like a senior retreat. And man, when I tell you, it was a special moment. All of us just spreading our emotions and trauma that we couldn't release to our families or our friends because we felt like nobody understand, but he understood, and he understood everything that we said.
So he's been there,
yes.
And he's bringing his, So Coach is bringing his history with him, giving it to you guys, and it helped you guys as a team. You were the captains. You're the guys that he felt like were going to be the leaders of the entire season. And Chris, you guys have to be pleased at this point, but not satisfied.
Yes, sir. We satisfied. And like when Coach was said, like if we go 4-0, how we gonna handle it? If we go 0-4, how we gonna handle that? Well, he had a conversation about that, the seniors and everything, and we talked about how even if we went 0-4, we was gonna remain humble because it ain't over. The mission ain't over with. We just gotta keep going and keep playing.
You
and
never quit.
Once we went 4-0, it's like everything that we talked about, it manifested in thin air. Like right now, we in the midst of everything that we talked about. And everything that we have said and done, we've been humble, and we never got cocky about it. That's what I love about my team. We don't get cocky. We just be humble and remain humble, and we work every single day.
You let your work do your talking for
Yes.
you. So going into this game, this is a real important game. Two teams fighting undefeated in district. You guys undefeated on the season. What's your goal now? You've got 2 more left in this. The first season, we'll call it. So what is your goal here?
My goal here is just to keep leading the team, man, and just keep fighting and keep going, because 2 more games, it really went by fast. And this is my senior year, so I got to keep going and keep striving and keep eating every day. So I got to keep working, even in the weight room, even off the field, even if we not in the weight room, in the classroom. That come first. You got to be a student before you're an athlete.
Bingo.
So
that's what a lot of guys miss. That's the most important thing in this entire system, is you have to have that education, because without the education, you may have all the athletic ability in the world, but you're not going up there. You may have a chance to go up there, but if you don't have the education, you're fighting a 2-way battle.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Coach, what are you expecting from Liberty Island? We know they're a good team. They, like you said, they're pretty much the same offense that we just went through last week. And what are you expecting them to do? Throw more, maybe?
Yeah. Well, everything starts, for them offensively with their quarterback, Basinger, and he's a really super talented player and brings a level of confidence and toughness to their team. So limiting him is going to be obviously be a big part of whether or not we're going to be successful. He's a coach's kid and super heady player and like I said, confident player and talented. And so, limiting him and I think just in general, limiting the explosive plays is going to be big for us. Obviously, everybody knows about their receiver that they have, Prevo. who's a Division I recruit and also super talented player. And then they do have a really good running back and some other skill players that are super talented and so that's going to be we're going to have our hands full when it comes to that. And then defensively, they have some really good players on defense as well up front and in the secondary and at linebacker. And so I just think for us, like we talk about every week, we have to just keep the focus on ourselves and executing. And what we've told them is we don't need to go add a bunch of different things and go be play superhuman at a superhuman level. We just need to go be our best versions of ourselves.
Do what you do
and clean up the stuff that we can clean up, control what we can control, and then no matter what happens, we can live with that. And the scoreboard will take care of itself. So that's really the approach we're taking.
The receiver. Are we going to have one specific person on him, or?
Yeah, we'll have some different ways that we're going to defend him. And, I think we have the kind of guys who everybody's kind of vying for that job and wanting to take that responsibility. And
including that guy sitting to your left.
Guy sitting next to me. And so there's going to be some combination of some different guys and different looks that we'll present to him that hopefully will limit his abilities. I mean, he's going to make some plays. We know that, and we told him, hey, he's a great player, and is going to make his plays, and we just have to limit those. And we'll have some different looks for him.
And Chris, one of the things you're going to have to be focused on is if they do get ahead of us, you're going to be one of the leaders, so you've got to keep the team built up and just let them know, hey, we've been behind 2 or 3 games, and look how that all ended.
Exactly. So we ever be behind like that, man. Sometimes we don't. What I love about our team, man, we never get down, man. Like I remember we was behind against Atlanta. We walked in the locker room, nobody was down. We motivating each other, everybody, even the people that don't even talk are leading, talking and everything, everybody talking. And just we preparing ourselves mentally like, man, we're finna go out here and play and do what we need to do. So, yeah, man.
Coach, barring what happens, Friday night, we're going to be in the playoffs no matter what.
Yep.
In just a what-if situation, what if we don't win? Where's our focus going to be the last game? That's Tatum. And goodness gracious, Atlanta took it to them. And, they're going to be hungry too. Yeah. They're fighting for a spot.
Yeah, win or lose. First of all, if we lose, Friday, we drop Friday, it's not going to take away anything from what's happened up to this point. And, and if that happens, we talk about that every week, how we're going to approach, how we're going to handle this if we win this game, if we lose this game. We're going to tip our hats to them and tell them good job. And then, if we lose, our motivation will be earn the right to play those guys again, probably in the quarterfinals. And so, but either way, what we've been talking about and kind of preparing them since we came out of our bye week is that we got to treat each week like it's the playoffs because, it's not win or go home, but each week has a bearing on our playoff seeding and where we're going to be in the bracket. And, we're in the driver's seat and we need to keep it that way and control our own destiny and not let someone else dictate, where we're going to be and who we're going to be playing, but let us be the ones who have a say in that. So, looking at all those scenarios, we'd rather not be finished 3rd or 4th in our district because that means you're going to be playing either Malakoff or Winsboro first round. And so, you'd rather avoid that if we can. And so that's what, obviously, on a basic level, we'd like to avoid that if we can. And so either way, though, we haven't even really talked about the postseason at all. We got to focus on these next 2 games because they're super talented teams on our schedule.
Just another fun fact to talk about. There's only 4 undefeated teams in Division I 3A, and we're one of them. Malakoff, Edna, us, and Palestine Westwood. Palestine Westwood has been approved to continue their season now. And so they're right now, and with Pigskins, that's one I'm using, is they're number 13, we're number 10. Malakoff is 4 and Edna's 3. So, that is something to be really proud of, just that one right there. And like I said, it's a fun thing to talk about, but it has no bearing on any of the games that are coming up in the future.
Right. LE doesn't care what we're ranked. Tatum doesn't care what we're ranked. They don't care, what anybody says. They're going to be ready to play, and our kids feel the same way. So, we try to again not get caught up in all the outside things that associated with the game and with the season. And again, Chris alluded to it. We talk weekly and almost daily about how to handle success and how to handle things, and there's a right way and a wrong way to do that, and that's the toughest thing about success is being able to maintain it and stay focused and not get lax and not let yourself get complacent,
and not get arrogant.
That's right. And I think that we have a really good, we have leaders who stress that, and they are very humble kids. If anyone watched that that interview with Cam last week that they did,
that was awesome.
That's who he is. He's a super humble kid, and so is Chris and Tomias and Daniel. All four of those captains, and then the rest of our guys are just very humble. And offensively, we have a lot of guys that can do special things with the ball in their hand, and each week there's not enough time and plays to get everyone the ball and make everyone happy, and so those guys have to be selfless and team guys each week, and and so they've been that, and that's been really good to see.
Chris, I'm going to give you an opportunity, and the reason we call you Fly, I was just watching, I think it was the second game, and that's what you do going down the field. You fly down the field. It looks like they've gotten you, and then you're burning rubber, spitting it in their face. You're going down the field. I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk about the other captains on the team, and you, like you were talking about, tell the audience what you were telling me about Cameron and the other guys, if you'd like to.
Man, Cameron's just such a humble person. Like, behind the scenes, man, Cam check up on everybody. Like, nobody don't even understand that. Like, Tomias do the same exact thing. Daniel do the same exact thing. Them two guys, Daniel and Tomias, they was never like talkative people. They never talk. You know what I'm saying? And they used to be nervous to talk. And I remember one day when we went to PG, this when Coach introduced us to Coach Gibson, man, it was a great time. And Daniel and Tomias had to go up and talk in front of everybody, but Coach Taylor had asked me, and I was like, nah, Coach, I'm kind of nervous, But Tomias and Daniel went up there and talking. They was nervous, but they still got the message out, and it still helped a lot of people. Most people need that message, but I just love the captains because we so humble, man, and we don't talk cocky. We just remain humble all day and all the time. And I just love us because we talk to everybody. We never separate from each other. And
you guys have a big influence on these other guys. Mm-hmm. You're the leaders of the team, so they're going to follow the way you act and the way you do. Mm-hmm. Your performance, it means everything to them. And I can tell you, they've all bought into this.
Yes, sir. Cam he never separate himself. Tomias never separate himself. Daniel never separate himself.
Nor do you.
Nah, I don't separate myself either, man. And even if I'm feeling down, every time I step in the locker room, just seeing my brothers, man, it makes me happy because I got family. I got somebody to talk to even when I feel bad.
And you got a bunch of daddies you can lean on if you need.
Coach Taylor, man.
Coach, 8-0. We got a big one coming up this weekend. Anything else?
No, we're just, I hope we're inviting everybody in Marion County to make the short trip up 59 to Texarkana and be there in support of our guys Friday night. And it's going to be a great atmosphere and a great setting for a high school football game. And so we're just encouraging everybody to come out and watch these guys and support them, and as we try to move one step closer to a district championship.
Okay, this week we're fighting for a district championship. 8-0. Let's go.